Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome in. Today we're going to go over all of my completed pages for February of 2026. So if you're up for that, stick around. Okay y'all, we're going to change up the format just a little bit. We're not going to go over stats this month. My analytics tell me that y'all don't want to see that, so we won't do that anymore. But I will tell you that I colored in 8 different books this month, and I completed 10 pages, and I finished with 1 whip. So we are going to start with the whip, and that is in Maria Trolle's Nightfall. I love this book. And I did a video with this page showing you shading with gray. And I've just been working along on this page. It's taken me a little while, but I'm really liking doing this page. And so hopefully you will see this completed in March for my finished pages in March. But what I've done with it, all the pencils are Master Art. And I based the whole page in watercolor, blue watercolor. And what I'm doing is I'm leaving some of the space for my highlights. I'm leaving that part blank so that blue will show through everything on the page. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, that's the page so far. I love this book. Every time I color in this book, I love it. This was my first what I call fancy book, because it's a hardback book. If you don't have this one, I do recommend this. Nightfall by Maria Trolle. The next one is Color in Heaven's 10-year anniversary celebration. This is issue, that can't be right. It says issue 23. I know that's not right. I looked all over, y'all, and everything says issue 23. I don't know how that could be correct, but anyway, what I did in this one was number 41, and I cannot say this illustrator's name, but I will bring it closer so you can see. And this was a month of experiments for me, because you don't see me coloring in these Color in Heaven books too much, because I do not like the paper. So I'm like, how do I change the structure of the paper? So I put some gloss gel on this, and then I gave it a little sand, and then I took watercolor and put watercolor over the whole thing, just like I just did that page in Maria Trolle that I showed you. And I used purple for the background of this one. And it did make the paper better, where I could color on it and I could, like, you know, not cringe while I was doing it. But let's see. I used Prismacolors to color this. And I used ink for these little splotches in the background. And I told you that I used that gel gloss, and I'll grab that in a second and show you what I'm talking about. And I did a little bit of sanding, and you can see right here where that happened, but I don't mind that because it gave some texture to the picture and to the page, and I think it added a little something to it, because this little bunny looks like he has been through the ringer, don't he? And I did use the gold ink on this as well. I'm not very good using that. I'm kind of sloppy with it, but it's here. And then I put some dots on her here and did his dots here. And in Alabama fashion, I smeared it. But, you know, it is what it is. They're supposed to be a little grungy. But that's this page right here. I thought she turned out really cool. And because the background, I changed it to purple, the white came out like very vibrant. So vibrant that I started toning it down with gray. So that's one way to get your whites to show up really well, is to base your whole page with, or the object that you're coloring with watercolor paint. A different color, you know. I hope that made sense. But the gloss gel that I use to base the page with is this. And this is the Master's Touch from Hobby Lobby. And I've had this for a while. I've shown it before, and I'll open it and show you what it looks like. It's real goopy-like, but it dries clear. So I put it on there just to change the integrity of the paper. And I think I'll be doing that a lot more. So that is this one. And the name of this page is Party. And then I colored in another Color in Heaven book, the Vampire Special. This is issue 136, and this is all Ines Guerrero. And if you've been around for any time at all, you know that she is my absolute favorite artist. And I did this one. This one's kind of crazy looking because, again, I wanted to change the integrity of the paper. And so I got some gesso. Gesso. I'm calling it gesso. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. And I put that on here, and I did not do any sanding. And I only put one layer on here. So I think I'm going to do a video on this at some point. But one mistake I made, is I got a white gesso. So it did cover up some of the lines, but it didn't cover it up so bad that I couldn't see it. But then after that dried, and it doesn't take very long for it to dry, but after that dried, then I took watercolor again, and I made the whole thing pink. And then I colored everything with Prismacolor, and then there's some gel pen here that I did her little tattoos with. And I kind of outlined some of the branches or thorns, I guess I should say, of the roses with the gel pen. And then I took ink and made the background darker because I wanted it to look like it was kind of like a really dark fog. You know, I wanted it to be a dark, creepy page, you know. And so I did put some chalk writer over the top of some of it to get it a little bit lighter. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. You can buy these on Amazon too, but they're like 3 times more than what you're going to pay for them at the Dollar Tree. That's where I got mine. It's almost like a gel crown, only a little bit harder. But I like to use that. But that's what I did with this one. As I said, this was a month of experiments, and this was definitely an experiment. But hey, I got a page done in here, and I'm satisfied with that. So that's the Vampire Special, Color in Heaven, issue 136. And then we're going to go into Shooting Star with Maria Trolle. And the first page I did in here was actually a buddy color with Chrissy Wilcox on Instagram. And I will put her page, let me see if I can be real fancy. I'll try to put her page like right here. Hers is beautiful. We both had the same idea with orange for the shirt and brown for the hair, but hers is a beautiful galaxy background. I love the way she did the background, and the eye on her girl looks so crystal clear. I hope y'all can see what I'm talking about here. But what I did with mine is I used Prismacolor. Let me back up. I used watercolor once again, and I covered the whole thing with orange this time because I wanted her to be kind of in a bright area. I'm not explaining that very well, but I put orange watercolor over the whole thing. Then I colored it with Prismacolor, and then I put Distress ink around the back of it to deepen it up and give it a little bit more depth. And I think that's all I used on here. And I did the same thing I did in my whip that I showed you. I left some highlights because I wanted that orange to show through. So yeah, that was fun doing that. So thank you, Chrissy, for buddy coloring with me. And if you want to do another buddy color this month in March, let me know. I'm definitely up for it. We seem to be coloring this book together because this page right here was a buddy color with Chrissy as well. But then I went ahead and did another page on here, another experiment. I told you it was the month of experiments. First thing I did with this one was watercolor again, but this one was blue. Did blue all over the whole thing. And then I colored it with Prismacolor. And then I tried my hand again at the splatter technique. And I actually got it, y'all. I was able to splatter. But then I went crazy with it. As you see, there's a lot of splatter. But if you see, there's a little bee there. And this is the Maria Trolle pictures. Let me take this off of here. The Maria Trolle pictures are part of Shelly's hashtag color, and it was hashtag color with Shell 2026. And she chose, I think, 4 different books or 4 different authors. And one of the authors was Maria Trolle. So any of the Maria Trolle pages were part of that hashtag. And this was also part of the hashtag February 2026 with Coloring Bumblebee. Hashtag FEBBEEARY 2026. I did try to participate in some hashtags this month. But yeah, I did her, and I thought she was very, very cute. And I was very excited that I was actually able to do the splatter effect. And that was because of Bo Beanie Creates. She did this on one of her recent videos. Well, probably last month. Something like that. And she told me that you need to have if you're using acrylic paint or whatever paint you're using, it needs to be kind of watery so it will come off of the brush, because I tried to do this before and the paint was too thick and all I was doing was splattering it all over myself. I wasn't getting it nowhere near what I wanted to do. And when it started working, like I said, I just couldn't quit doing it. So she's got lots and lots of splatter effect, but I still like it. I think it's very, very cute. So that is everything I did in Shooting Star. And then I did a page in The Time Garden by Daria Song. And this one is a double page spread. This one is very loud. Again, with the watercolor, I did all the purple and the blue and the black and all that in the background. I did that with watercolor. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to do all the stars with this foil. I'll hold it up so you can see it. This is actually for nails, but I wanted to put it on all the stars because I thought it would look really cool. Honestly, I'm glad that did not work out because, oh my gosh, there's at least 10,000 stars on these pages. But I could not, the only one, let me move this over. Right here, I got that one to work. That's what I was going to try to do with all the stars on here. And I'd have been working on this till Christmas. So that didn't work out. So what I decided to do instead is all these stars are stickles. And oh my gosh, my wrist, after squeezing those stickles out, it was a labor of love, let me just tell you. And then after that dried, I put Mod Podge Extreme Glitter. over the top of it to give it even more bling. So as you can see how shiny and sparkly it is. And I'll move that. And then I just colored little Daria here with a Prismacolor, and I tried my best not to get any glitter at all on her. But that is my double page spread that was a labor of love in the Timed Garden by Daria Song. Okay, y'all, it's the Christine Karron show from here on out. The first one we're going to look at is Wondrous Folk. And what I get two, it looks like I did two in here. I did Beloved. And this was for Amanda Colors hashtag AC Palette Challenge. And I will try to put up a picture of the palette like right here. And that's what this was for. And I used the Master Art pencils for this and Distress ink in the background. We will take that off of there. And then we did Cleo. I love her. She's turned out so cool. I used the Black Widow pencils for this. And then I colored everything with the Black Widow pencils. And then the background is done with oil pastels. And then I put some of the Mod Podge Extreme Glitter over the top of that. And because some places I didn't get the oil pastel like blended very well. So in order to cover that up, I put these stars over the top of it to kind of mask that. But you can see how shiny she is. I love the way she turned out. Yeah, I think that's everything on that one. Is it? Yes, that's everything I did on that one. But yeah, she's one of my favorites. I really like her. And that was Wondrous Folk, Christine Karron. The next one is Wildflower Folk, Christine Karron again. I didn't get everything done that I wanted to get done this month, but I got enough done. But I did Dancing Queens, and this is part of Geordie Colors' Color the Fairy Tales, February 2026. And the prompt was Puss in Boots, Cat Boots Bag Love Wedding. And of course there's a cat here. And they are dancing, having a good old time. And what did I color this with? I colored this with Prisma. And then the background is Distress ink, and the little dots and the little bursts are Posca. And I've got some Winkostella on her hair to make it kind of shiny. I don't know, I felt like she had the hairspray that had the glittery stuff in it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I put it on that, and I put it on a little tambourine. And I also put it on the instrument, and I used also some gel pens on her jewelry here and on her accents on her clothes. But I thought she turned out really cute. Very cute. And then what else did I do in here? I did the Awakening, and I did a three-part series on this page. I did the skin, the hair, and the background on camera. And I used Prismacolor to color everything. And then the background is done with just regular Crayola chalk. And I love the way it turned out. It still smells like hairspray just a little bit because that's what I use to spray it to fix the page. But I thought she turned out lovely. Yes, I quite like this. That was Wildflower Folk. And then last but not least is Little Folk, also by Christine Karron. What did I do in here? I did Elfling's Shelter in this one. And I used the Black Widow pencils on this one. I can't see because it's... I'm going to bring it over here so I can see it in the camera. I used the Black Widow pencils on this. There is some green Winka Stella on her little umbrella here. And I've got gel pen here on the little leaves and on her clothes down here. This is also gel pen, the leaves. There's Winka Stella here on her little tops of her little boots. And then I put the Winka Stella on the rock too because I wanted it to look kind of slick. And then the background is done with Distress ink. I just dabbed all kinds of different colors all over it. But we'll see. I don't know if you can see the shininess. I'll just keep moving the page like this till I think maybe you've seen it. And is that it? I think that's everything. Yes, this is it. That was the last page in Little Folk by Christine Karron. So yeah, y'all, I colored in 8 different books and I completed 10 pages and finished the month with one WIP that I'm sure that you will see in my completed pages for March. But if you stuck around this long, I appreciate you very much. And if you liked the video, don't forget to give it a like, leave me a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, y'all, bye.